Ladies and gentlemen, I talk about this all the time regarding when activists finally get their win and they will do anything and everything to protect that echo chamber and protect the discourse and make sure that nobody is able to speak out against it. We have an article here from That Park Place that has a headline that reads, PlayStation 5 subreddit permanently bans user for being disappointed that Assassin's Creed Shadows did not feature Asian male main character. Now, again, guys, we talk about this all the time. They're going to protect that echo chamber. They don't want people to realize just how many people are upset over the decision to represent the entirety of Japan with someone who was only there for 15 months.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but...
But again, guys, at the end of the day, the activists don't actually care about representation. They only care about what that person, that historical figure, or that character represents for their cause. Right now, Yasuke is going to further their cause, and they need to protect him and the narrative around him as much as they possibly can. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says the PlayStation 5 subreddit permanently banned a user for expressing disappointment that Assassin's Creed Shadows did not feature an Asian male main character. Now, something I mentioned in my last video is the fact that a lot of people were waiting for Assassin's Creed, based in Japan. They were waiting for that kind of game, and they were hoping that they would be able to play as a male character, whether it was a samurai or a shinobi or an assassin of some kind. They were hoping they'll be able to play as an Asian male character. There is nothing shocking to think that, right? Like, there's nothing racist to say about that, because every other Assassin's Creed game had a character, granted a false historical character. This is the first time they're doing it based off a real character or a real person, but they still had a false character that had their ethnicity and their country of origin be based in where the game takes place. So it was very representative. It was very diverse. It was very, I guess you could say accurate to what the game was trying to portray. And in this scenario, they decided to say, well, you know what? We really don't want to do that. We actually just want to showcase all of Japan from this perspective of one guy who is not Japanese, who is African, and who was only there for 15 months before his leader died and he surrendered. You know what I mean? Like, it's the craziest freaking story, but this is what they do, man. This is what they always do. As originally reported by Reddit Lies on X, after Ubisoft released the first trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows that revealed the game will allow players to play a female shinobi named Nao, or the African Yasuke, user Gollum is Best reacted to it in the PlayStation 5 subreddit, asking any other Asian people disappointed that we don't get an Asian male main character. So I'm going to assume, just based off this statement, that the person who said this is Asian. But I guess that Stop Asian Hate, that's not something that matters anymore. That's not as important as representation. You know what I mean? Whenever the Western audience talks about representation, they're not talking about Asian. They're not talking about Indian. They're not talking about Latinos. They're not talking about anything other than the thing that they worship more than anything. And that's that delicious black skin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they worship it. They want to control it. They want to constantly tell black people what they should and shouldn't say, what they should and shouldn't be offended by. This is the control that they want. So they love to do this because it keeps them marginalized. It keeps them in a mindset of, oh, we don't get lots of representation, and this is clearly good representation. Even though we're out here playing We Was Samurai and shit, this is still good rep. No, it's not. It's stupid. It's lazy. Right? It says, after positing the question, Gollum is Best received the message that he had been permanently banned from RPS5. Yeah, I'm not shocked. The message stated, hello, you've been permanently banned from participating in RPS5 because your comment violates the community's rules. You won't be able to post or comment, but you can still view and subscribe to it. The post in question has been removed and deleted from the subreddit as well. Ubisoft's decision to make an African character and female character the main characters for Assassin's Creed Shadows has been met with a ton of backlash. While the trailer has over 5.6 million views on YouTube, the dislike ratio is essentially 2-to-1, with 401 thousand dislikes. Now, guys, we already spoke about this, about the trailer many times. The trailer, it didn't even show any gameplay, and you got all these simps out there buying the collector's edition, spending damn near almost $300 for a game that showed no gameplay. But hey, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother argument. My thing is the fact that they decided to use Yasuke simply only for pandering. I'll keep saying this because nobody can prove otherwise that they didn't do this, right? You cannot say, oh, well, they wanted to go with a historical figure this time, when there is literally thousands of historical, actual, real samurai that they could have chosen to base the character off of. They went with Yasuke. They went with the guy who fit that mold, who fit that look that they were going for, that they were desperately trying to sneak in there somehow, some way. They already knew they were going to struggle because obviously a game based in Japan, there isn't really a lot of black people, if you catch my drift. You know what I'm saying? So, especially in feudal Japan. So now all of a sudden, you got the opportunity to showcase a black character who was for all intensive purposes, a very ambiguous, very unknown person who all we know is very small facts for 15 months of his life in Japan. 15 months. That's it. That's all we know up until the point of his eventual surrender, and he was returned back to the Jesuits. This is exactly what we are talking about when it comes to pandering and virtue signaling. It says, many of the top comments are criticizing the trailer and Ubisoft as a whole. One writes, the most heroic thing about this trailer is that they left the comments open. Yeah, for now. I'm surprised they didn't close the comments. That's actually a good point. Another posted, remember, this is Ubisoft. No pre-order. Still another added, hey, our Shogun was assassinated by a 6'5" black guy, Jin. Anyone seen him around town? Yeah, so the funny thing about all this, too, is that people are saying, well, typical Assassin's Creed gameplay, right? You go kill somebody in the world, and then the enemy starts looking for you, right? And they're like, hey, we need to find someone who did this, and any strange characters around, anybody who stands out to you, and you're gonna have the one black guy in fucking samurai gear, like, it just doesn't make any sense, man. One crack, from an Italian perspective, this looks like pineapples on pizza. Oh, God, don't mention that. Another added, remember, never pre-order. I agree. Not only is the main trailer getting disliked and criticized, but so are the ancillary trailers. One of the trailers discussing Naoi and Yasuke has just shy of 1 million views, but has over 61,000 dislikes and just 26,000 likes. So again, the number seems to be pretty consistent. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1 in terms of 2 people not liking it versus 1 person liking it. That's about the par of course when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? We see this happen a lot on many different trailers, and it's not too shocking. So the 2-to-1, it definitely makes sense. Another video breaking down the trailer and providing details on how the game will depict samurai, shinobi, and feudal Japan has just over 150,000 views. It also has over 19,000 dislikes, just shy of 6,000 likes. So again, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to constantly try to control the narrative. They're going to do everything they possibly can to ban you. If you are on public forums that are for the status quo, you're not going to last very long if you have an opposing opinion. Unfortunately for that guy who got banned, who seems to be an Asian male, yeah, they've made it very clear that your history doesn't matter, that your voice doesn't matter, that the public discourse around your discontent with the game doesn't matter. They don't care what you think. They don't care that you have a problem with it. You need to accept the fact that a guy, a black male who was only in Japan for 15 months is going to represent the actual real samurai spirit. That's their words. It's going to represent all of Japan now, and you just have to deal with it. That's what they're telling you. That's what they're saying. So if you have a problem with this, if you have an issue with this, there's only one way to solve it, and there's only one way to fight back, and that is quite simply just to vote with your wallet. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.